Good afternoon, everyone. I figure it looks like we've kind of slowed down with the participants coming in. It's just after 5. I figure we'll go ahead and get started with this. I'm Christy Sonkrant. I'm the administrator at the Division of Engineering Services. I want to thank all of you for attending our Zoom meeting. We want to go ahead and give you guys an idea of what's going to be happening with the Bennett Road reconstruction. And then at the end of the presentation, we will open it up to questions and answers. First, I'd like to introduce Tim Grosjean. He is our senior roadway engineer. And then we have Joe McGordy, who is the project engineer. So he's going to be the main one that you guys will be talking with and dealing with. And then we also have Gary Stuckey, who is our senior traffic engineer. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Tim. He has a few thoughts he wants to discuss.
Christy, I just want to say thanks to everyone that's showing up. We appreciate you guys all taking time out of your day to be here for this meeting. This section of Bennett is pretty important. It's really diverse. I mean, we have such a mix of use out here. We have residential housing, schools, churches, and businesses. I mean, you don't see that on very many roads. So also equally important, there's a couple neighborhoods to the east that are completely dependent on Bennett. It's the only way in and out of the neighborhood. So this is really important for them as well, because they'll want to know what's going on out here. So because of all these factors, we felt it was really important to have this meeting with you guys to explain everything that we're going to be doing during the construction. We want to make sure that you're well informed and that you know what changes are coming and approximately when those changes will happen. So we don't really give you guys any surprises. So at the, like Christy said, at the end, we will have time for a question and answer. There's the button at the bottom of the Zoom there that's it says Q&A on it. If you click on that, you'll be able to put some questions in there and we will go through them and either myself or Joel or whoever else can answer them for you. I guess I'm hoping that most of the questions stay on topic and that we can focus on everything that's going to be going on Bennett. So, so we have a little presentation here that we're going to share a screen and show what we have going on for you guys. All right, just to give you guys a little background and history of this, we always received complaints about the condition of Bennett Road over the years. It's been in terrible shape. We've had, you know, it was always on our radar to take care of because we feel it is important. So we applied for funding in 2014. They awarded, we go for federal funding through TMCOG and ODOT, and they awarded us in 2014, but whenever they give you funding, it's at least 4 years out, if not longer. So it was awarded to be constructed in 2018. What happened there, though, is that it was in such poor condition that our Division of Streets, Bridges, and Harbor went out, I don't remember if it was 2018 or 19, and they did a resurfacing out there just to limp it along until we could actually go out and take care of it ourselves. As a result, it was in good enough condition that it could wait a little bit and we can move up other projects with funding and get those done ahead of time. So now we're here and now we're going to take care of it for you guys, the full stretch. So just to go over this, the funding, this is estimated at 1.66 million. The bids actually came in very good for this project. and 80% of the funding is given to us with the federal money, 1.32 million. That's really good for us. We also went for additional funding through the state, and that gave us an additional 10% of the construction costs. So, so for this 1.66 million, the city is only going to be responsible for 166,000 or so of the project. So, as you can see, any time that we can do a larger road like this and get outside funding, it's extremely worth it for the city to do so, just to make sure that we can, you know, spread our money out to all different parts and different roads. So, you know, we've been looking forward to doing this one, and I'm going to turn it over to Joel McGordy. He was the design engineer that laid the new road out, and now he is going to be the construction engineer that's going to oversee the construction of the project. So I'll give it to Joel now.
Thank you, Tim. Like Tim said, thank you everybody for coming in tonight and getting just the lowdown on what we're going to be doing out there. This will be a full road reconstruction out on Bennett from Lasky to Alexis. So we're going to be taking out all existing road material that's in the ground, including some extra dirt. We like to put back new dirt just to give it a nice solid foundation, and then we'll be building it back up with a thicker pavement section. Hopefully it'll last us a lot longer than what the existing conditions did. We'll also be widening any sections of Bennett. There's a couple that are little narrow and tight at 20 feet wide. We'll definitely be widening those to at least 22 feet wide, give you at least 11-foot driving lanes. We'll also be adding new sidewalk, any spot that there isn't any right now, which mostly is at the northern end of Bennett. So we'll be continuing all the sidewalk on both sides of the road. Some of the crossings, I know there's quite a few of them out there, they'll be removed because at that speed limit, they're technically not legal. We understand that there's schools there, so we'll continue to have all the crossings there for any schools. We're also looking at just any options that we can to make sure that it's safe, including crossing guards, making sure that they're out there. Also with a reconstruction project, we always redo all the drive aprons. So anything from the sidewalk out to the road will be now new concrete. That'll be any businesses, residential, all of them, they'll all be replaced. So the contractor for this project is the Shelley Company. Their project manager is Kurt Bosselman, project superintendent Kevin Snyder. He's the main guy that'll be out there on the road. Should be able to find him. As the city, will also have an engineer and an inspector. I'll be the engineer, and my phone number is listed if you need to get in contact with me. And then the project inspector will be John Sears. He'll be out. He'll be in a City of Toledo white truck. Go out if you have any questions. Feel free to give him a talk to. His phone number is also listed there below. So this project, according to the contract, is 120 days long. Right below here, we have a schedule, kind of just what the contractor gave us. Mind you, this is just preliminary. This all depends on weather. We're in the rainy season, technically I guess the snowy season now, since we got close to 5 inches. So, and any other unforeseen issues that might come up might push this schedule off a little bit. But as for now, they plan on starting to mobilize next Monday, April 26th. And I just got off the phone with Kevin Schneider not too long ago. He said they're hoping for some equipment to be delivered on Monday and Tuesday, and then hopefully starting their minor drainage improvements on Wednesday. That includes just kind of some catch basins being placed at the northern and southern ends of the project, and then also a couple throughout the middle of the project as well. And then beginning in May, kind of towards the beginning of May through close to the beginning of June, northbound Bennett will be closed for the full reconstruct. So no traffic will be allowed northbound. Everything will have to be southbound. This way they can rip out the road completely, get their trucks and equipment in, and get that built back up without any delays due to traffic. During this time, all drives and side streets will still have access on the east side. If you need any special accommodations for your driveway, need to get in, get out, anything, just let myself or John Sears know, and we'll make sure we can work with the contractor to get that handled. After that side is done and completed, starting at the beginning of June, they're hoping to flip over the traffic, and northbound will be reopened. Southbound will be closed then so that they can reconstruct the south side, or the southbound lanes. That one's going to extend a little longer. I think what their plan is then, once that's closed, that they can do some of the other work included, just so that they still have somewhere for their trucks and equipment to go. But just like on the east side, all drives and side streets on the west side of Bennett will still be maintained. You can have access through those. And if anybody on the west side has any needs any special accommodations, feel free to let me know and we can work with that. Once the roads kind of been reconstructed, starting in mid-July, they're looking at removing and replacing any sidewalk that has kind of been failing. I know you might have seen some marks out there already. John Sears, our construction tech, he's been out there already looking, marking out different places of sidewalk that need to be replaced. And then they'll also dig for the new sidewalk that's running north. At the end of July, beginning of August, they'll put down the surface asphalt. So usually when they reconstruct a road, a major road like this, they'll get all the way up to the intermediate with the asphalt. That way, not everybody in the construction trucks are driving on the fresh surface asphalt. So at the end of the project, then they'll go ahead and place that surface asphalt so that we'll have a nice driving surface at the end. After that, they'll do any restoration to the grass, striping of the roadway, make sure there's nice lines out there, crosswalks. Within that restoration, we have a couple spots that we're going to do some grading to help make sure we take care of some of the drainage that's out there. We have to do what's called a BMP, best management practice. Since we're adding sidewalk, we'll have to make sure we take care of any extra storm water that we're going to be producing. And then in the middle of August, hopefully that'll be the final walkthrough of the project. We'll meet with ODOT and the contractor, walk through, make sure everything's up to snuff before we let the contractor off the hook. But per the contract, all construction items must be completed by August 27th. If not, the contractor is held liable for any time that they're spent out there after that date. The detour routes for the closures, when northbound Bennett is closed, you can access Lasky to Telegraph, and then Telegraph to Alexis, and then from Alexis you can turn southbound Bennett, and then you'd be able to access any side streets, drives, anything that you would need to. And then for southbound, it's just kind of the inverse. You'll take Alexis to Telegraph, Telegraph to Lasky, and then on Lasky you can turn northbound and go up Bennett. So does anybody, I think I saw that there's some questions on the side.
Yeah. So the first question was, I thought sewers were going to be installed along Bennett to stop flooding. That is a big problem along most streets that run off Bennett from Alexis to Lasky. You did add a couple drains, I thought, a couple catch basins in there to kind of address some of that. Did you not? I mean,
Correct.
we're not doing a full-blown drainage solution here, but we are handling spots, right?
Yeah, we're trying to handle as much as we can without adding curbs to the road. We're going to try and handle and address as much as we can to keep it alleviating from down the side streets.
Okay. Another question is, am I correct that Bennett Venture is getting a crosswalk? We have a large population of walkers. Our school also walks to Regina Caeli if we have to evacuate.
Yes, I just talked with Gary Stuckey at Transportation this afternoon, and he said that he talked with Bennett Venture. So we're going to make sure that there is a crosswalk for all the walkers that are coming to school there.
Okay. We have 3 questions about that. Will curbs be installed along Bennett? And no, they will not. That was not put in to the original, the person that put in the application did not put in the curbs for it. And it wasn't really budgeted, because if we do that, it was probably going to almost double the cost of the project, because we'd have to put in curb all the way down and then put in an entire storm system, which, to be honest with you, I'm not sure if our main storm system in that area could handle that much more water. So at this moment, no.
Correct. A lot of it drains to the creek there at the north. So, and I've talked to the residents that live on either side, and they say that even now, when we get heavy rainstorms, they get water pretty close to their homes due to the drainage already.
Yeah.
Do we have any other questions?
It says here, it looks like some signs on the east side streets indicate do not enter. Will there only be certain streets we can use?
You can use all streets. So what those do not enter signs are is for the actual construction side. So when you turn into the intersection, or say let's use southbound's closed and we're running northbound, they'll have do not enter signs on the actual southbound lane, so nobody can turn into the construction area. You'll still be able to get down every side street. Those do not enters are just so that you don't enter any construction areas.
Okay. There's another question about curbs. Again, it's the curbs and drainage was more or less a budget issue at the time. For the next one, Northdale Drive is in terrible condition. I've been waiting for that one actually. And when I was dropping off the flyers, I noticed it is in terrible condition. Actually, Northdale Drive is honestly on my radar for the 0.25% funding. I can never promise a road, but I can honestly tell you that we have been looking at adding it to a future year, but it all depends. There's a lot of different factors that will go into that, including balance with other roads that will be done in the budget. So yes, Northdale is on our radar. Concerned about the front. Somebody's concerned about the front swale for water collection. Again, we tried to do some grading out there to, get it towards the catch basins that are existing. Correct, Joel?
Yep, yep. So like some of those BMPs it's called a vegetated swale, and so it's just helping get that water into the swales so that it can drain through the grass and also get to the catch basins.
Okay. So what about people that need to park in front of their house?
So we are putting back all the berms. Is that asking during construction if you have to park in front of your house?
It doesn't say, but why don't we answer it both ways then? I mean, but we're putting back a berm so that people that were able to park before can. What about construction, Joel?
Construction will work with the contractor to make sure all access is maintained. If that's the main way that people park in front of their house, we'll make sure that we keep that maintained.
Someone's asking if we will be lowering the street to avoid flooding in the yards closer to Lasky. And I believe that, well, I'll let you handle it.
I was going to say, we are lowering some of the sections of road. When we do design, we kind of look at driveways and the slopes of driveways. So one of our things is that we should be improving driveways. So when I was looking at it, some spots we did lower. That way, hopefully the drives will start to tip towards the road instead of back towards the houses. Others, it is tough. The houses kind of sit lower, but mostly what we're doing, at least will improve the driveway slope. So it's maybe not as sloped as much back towards the houses.
Someone's asking, will gas and water lines be replaced? The answer is no. What we end up doing is we coordinate with all of the utilities. They're aware of our plans, in some cases years ahead of time. So they have time to go out and assess, maybe like for gas lines, they assess the elevation of their gas mains and their services to see if they need to be lowered before we get in there and rip out the road. And water lines are always evaluated by our water engineers to determine whether they have had a lot of breaks and if there's any need at this point to replace them. So in this case, to be replaced. So somebody lives at Branbury and Spicer. Are there plans to redo these streets after the Bennett Road construction? Spicer is really bad. Spicer is very bad. Like I said, I know that neighborhood as a whole isn't great, but we have not done a full evaluation of the neighborhood. I know Northdale, because of the construction, was on there, but the list of roads that we can do is constantly in flux. But Spicer, I know it's horrible, so it is on my radar as well. Someone asks, where will the heavy equipment be parked? Do you know if they have a lot or something that they're running?
So a spot that they rented out is to the north of, or right on northern Bennett there. Just when you cross the creek there, there's some open area on the west side of the road, and they were renting that as their staging area. They were going to park a trailer there, so that's where all their heavy equipment would be parked.
Okay. Someone asked, can someone come in and reassess the new drains installed behind Regina Parkway on the south side before this gets started? There are branches, etc. They're concerned about a flooding recurrence. There's a possibility that we can get, we can get sewer and drainage out there to look at them to see if they've been clogged and whether they can go out and just clean them out, jet them out, or whatever. So I will make a note of that right now. So the next one is, when you fix Northdale and Sunnyside, will you put in sidewalks? We have a complete street policy in the city where we look at the surrounding area. We look to see if adjacent roads have sidewalk that we can connect to. If it makes sense, we put in sidewalk. And more often than not, we like to. So it's a matter of when we get to that point, we'll evaluate it and determine whether it needs to be done or not. Someone says, I have an end construction sign posted directly in front of my house on Northgate Parkway in an area we regularly park. Can we get that moved 5 feet left or right so we can still utilize that space during construction?
I'll talk to Kevin Schneider and Shelley. We should be able to get that worked out.
Okay. I have an alley drive to my garage off of Waybridge. Is the city going to fill potholes now in preparation of excess traffic? That would be our streets, bridges, and harbor division. And I can send them an email and see if that's something that they can go take care of. I live on Northdale. I don't, this guy does. As a related question, some of Bennett was replaced during Jameson Ditch project. We were told Northdale repaving was to be done along with ditch maintenance on open portion of ditch between Northdale and Southdale homes. It gets a lot less water since the redo and now is overgrown and just a mosquito hatchery. Is this going to be taken care of? So we are skipping the area that was already reconstructed, correct?
We are just going to resurface it. So we're just going to mill off the top and then put back new asphalt.
Okay. While we're out there, maybe we can assess that area that you're talking about and see what needs to be done out there. Someone says we don't need sidewalks on Sunnyside. Okay. Thank you for the comment. And you know, like I said, it's one of those things that has to do with, if it's one of those things where if the rest of the neighborhood has it, it makes sense to add it to someone else. But if there are lots of times when if an entire neighborhood doesn't have sidewalks, we skip it. But one way or another, it'll be an evaluation at the time. Are curbs and sewers on Bennett something that will happen in the future? Maybe, but honestly, with Bennett getting done right now, I am hoping that we are not going to touch this section of Bennett again for 30 years. We're making roads thick enough now that we're basically considering them a perpetual pavement, so that we can go through and not do them again except for minor maintenance in the future. So we are not looking for doing some kind of full-blown reconstruct again anytime soon. Someone also has to ask if Northgate is on the radar. Yeah, I mean, yes, it is. We're looking at everything along there. So, and we know that neighborhood is, you know, got some issues. Will all work be done during the day, or is there any night work planned for this project? Typically, we stay away from night work unless it completely makes sense to the project. We do have noise ordinances that we're not allowed to be out there constructing in residential areas over a certain time. So at this point, no, there won't be any night work. Right now, we don't have any more questions. Please ask away. Although I will tell you that with a lot of your questions about other roads that could be done, I'm probably going to have the same answer. They will be evaluated. My suggestion to you to get them on the radar is to either call or engage Toledo, or to get on the app for that and you know, file a complaint about the road. So those are the best ways to get it to our attention. Someone asked, is the speed limit going to change? No, it's going to stay what it is currently. Someone said, thank you for taking the time to share this. We're happy to do this. This was an important one. We had to make sure that, you know, for something of this size and so many different facets to the road, that, you know, we had to come out and make sure that everyone on it gets the information. So there are also going to be letters or flyers that get passed around periodically during construction that will give updates. One was going to come around pretty soon here, Joel.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's out yet, but the contractor is supposed to be passing out the initial construction letter.
Someone asked if we will do another one of these in the middle of the project, and the answer is no. From this point on, we will try to inform everyone of major traffic changes, you know, in letters and things, so that you know, for the immediate residents around it. Is there a plan for equipment and things brought in at certain times, like around school opening and when school is let out? Joel, has that been discussed?
Not that I've been told. I think they're just kind of planning as a normal day, just keep working throughout. They'll know if they're kind of in a school section to make sure that they keep an eye out for any school kids coming through or anything, any buses or anything. So they'll make sure that they keep an eye out for that.
Okay. Someone asked that one of the schools has a summer program. planned? Should they plan on not being able to use the main entrance / exit? Joel?
Now, all drives should be maintained throughout the project. The only time that you won't have any access to your drive is when they come through and actually pour your drive with fresh concrete. Even then, it's only a 24-hour because of the kind of concrete that we're using, so you won't be able to access it for 24 hours. But after that, you should always have access to your driveway.
Someone wants to know if TARTA is still going to run during construction.
They'll be notified. I'm not really sure the answer to that question. They'll be notified of the construction.
TARTA generally, when we give them, notification of our construction, they'll determine whether they need to make any adjustments to their route at that time. I'm sure they'll keep people informed about that on their website. And we're willing to answer any more questions. We're happy to do this for you guys. We don't have any at this moment, so we can just stick around for another minute or two and see if any more pop up, and we'll be happy to address them. What was the start date for this again, Joel?
So April 26th on Monday, they're going to start moving the equipment in. Kevin Schneider said he thinks he's getting most of his deliveries starting on Tuesday, and then Wednesday they're hoping to start with the minor storm drainage. He said they won't be having any big closures yet with that. They might just have a little mobile zone and a flagger to help get traffic around while they're doing that stuff. He said they'll try and stay off the road as much as possible through that phase.
And with this kind of construction, for the width of the road, it's extremely hard to, you've got a couple ways of doing it. You either rip out the entire road at once, or you do half at a time. With it only being in some places even 20 foot wide, it makes it hard not to do something where you have the traffic only going one direction. There's just no room out there for it.
Hey, Joel, has the waste department been contacted, Republic?
No, they have not, but I will do that.
Okay, because more than likely, the residents will probably have to put their garbage cans on the opposite side.
Okay. Yep, I will give them a call and let them know.
So someone asked about sharing the names and phone numbers again of the personnel, and here it is right here. That's Joel McGordy and John Sears. They're the ones that will be your direct contact for this project. So they'll generally take any issues or questions or concerns to the contractor to help address it. Someone asked, is there a way to get a written copy of this transcript? My father is not techie at all and has a business by Barbies. Maybe. What we can definitely do is we have a fact sheet that we can send out to you that will have most of the information or that is presented here on it. So if someone could email Joel, he would be happy to send that out to you. Website, Facebook page for updates. So we don't really have like a constantly updated website to talk about the construction. That is an interesting thing that we could look at, but generally we have a overall of all of our construction projects that have a lot of general questions on them. That is at our website, which is toledo.oh.gov. You can find a lot of stuff about the construction there. But if there are specific questions that you have, you can always call Joel, and he'll be happy to address them with you. Teresa Morris, our new councilwoman, she put on here that she's happy to post updates on the District 6 page if needed. Thank you. And our neighborhood has a group that you could join. Joel, I don't know if you want to join the neighborhood group.
I would probably say that I'll contact the councilwoman, maybe with monthly updates or something. That way she can go ahead and post them on the District 6 page.
That would work great, I think. Wait another minute or two if anyone has any other questions. But if not, I just want to again thank everyone for taking the time to come and talk to us, and hopefully we're alleviating some concerns that you may have had about the project. Hopefully this has been informative to you, and you can always talk to Joel, and he can address any concerns through email or calls. And if nobody has anything else, then thank you very much. This has been great. I appreciate everyone that came to us. So hope you guys have a good evening.